On a cloudy October morning, Los Angeles woke up to another busy day. Public Prosecutor Adam Pierce was in the heart of the city, on the 10th floor of an imposing courthouse. Known for his unwavering integrity and dedication to public service, Adam was about to face the biggest case of his career, taking down a crime syndicate that had been operating with impunity for decades. The case, shrouded in mysteries and secrets, heavily relied on a single witness, Michael Hayes, an accountant who had decided to cooperate with the authorities in exchange for protection and immunity. Michael had been a key player in the scheme, directly handling the syndicate's money laundering and possessing information that could bring down the entire criminal organization. Adam, a tall man with dark hair, was preparing for another day of work. His serious expression reflected the pressure he felt. The case had gained media notoriety, and the city was closely watching the developments. As he reviewed documents in his office, his phone rang. It was Jennifer Davis, his loyal assistant. "Adam, we have a problem," said Jennifer, her voice revealing an underlying tension. "Hayes has disappeared." Adam felt a chill run down his spine. Michael Hayes was under protective custody with 24-hour surveillance. The disappearance of such a crucial witness not only put the case at risk but also Michael's life. "How did this happen?" Adam asked, standing up quickly. "No one knows for sure. The guards didn't notice anything. He just vanished," Jennifer responded, trying to stay calm. Adam rushed to the conference room, where the security team was already gathered. The head of security, Carl Peterson, a burly man with decades of experience, explained the situation. "We're reviewing the security camera footage, but so far we haven't found anything unusual. It's like he just evaporated." As Adam listened, his mind raced. Without Michael, the case could collapse. Moreover, if the crime syndicate was involved, it meant they had a much wider reach than Adam had imagined. He needed to find out what happened, and fast. Jennifer entered the room with a worried expression. "Adam, you need to see this," she said, handing him an envelope. Inside, there was a handwritten letter. The words were direct: "Drop the case or everyone you love will suffer." Adam felt the weight of the threat. He knew he would face adversity, but he didn't expect things to become so personal. As he read the letter, his mind turned to his wife, Sarah, and their young daughter, Emily. The mere thought of them being in danger terrified him. "We can't let this intimidate us," said Carl, noticing Adam's concern. "We have to press on. We'll find Hayes and ensure his safety." Adam nodded, trying to regain his composure. He knew quitting wasn't an option. "I want a list of everyone who had access to Hayes and his routines," he ordered. "Someone must have seen something." The team began to mobilize, each person focused on their tasks. Adam retreated to his office, where he picked up a photo of his family. He needed to find Hayes, not just for the case, but to protect those he loved. The pressure was mounting, and Adam knew he was dealing with powerful and dangerous forces. But he was determined to see justice done, no matter the cost. As the city continued its frantic pace, Adam felt a shadow looming over him. Time was against them, and the disappearance of Michael Hayes might only be the beginning of something much larger and more sinister. The disappearance of Michael Hayes had cast a shadow of uncertainty over the case, and the pressure on Adam Pierce was increasing by the moment. Back in his office, Adam began to formulate a plan to locate the missing witness. The first step was to interrogate everyone involved in Hayes' security and review the surveillance footage for any clues. Jennifer Davis, always efficient, had already organized the statements from the security agents. The guards, all veterans and trusted, swore that Hayes was in his room at the last check. However, the review of the footage revealed nothing unusual, no unexpected visitors, no suspicious movements. It was as if Hayes had vanished into thin air. "This doesn't make sense," said Adam, frustrated, as he examined the reports. "No one just disappears like that, especially under constant surveillance." Carl Peterson entered the room, bringing new information. "We found a glitch in the security system," he said, with a serious expression. "For about 15 minutes, the cameras in one of the corridors were down. It could have been a technical failure, but the timing is suspicious." Adam rubbed his face, trying to think clearly. 15 minutes is more than enough time for someone to get in and out with Hayes, he concluded. "We have to consider that he might have been kidnapped." Jennifer interrupted the meeting with a worried expression. "We received another envelope, Adam. This time, it has a recording." They gathered in the conference room, where Adam inserted the CD into the computer. The recording began with a distorted voice, clearly altered to be unrecognizable. "This is a warning. Stop now, or Hayes will pay the price. Don't think we don't know where you live, Adam." Adam's heart raced. The threat was direct and personal, aimed at him. He looked at Jennifer and Carl, both as disturbed as he was. "They know more than we'd like," Jennifer said, her voice trembling. We need to increase security around Sarah and Emily. Adam nodded, trying to stay calm. Yes, we do. And we also need to continue with the case. We can't let them intimidate us. He turned to Carl. I want a security team at my house immediately. And someone to accompany Sarah and Emily at all times. As the team mobilized to strengthen security, Adam focused on another crucial issue, finding Michael Hayes before it was too late. He knew the crime syndicate had tentacles in every area of Los Angeles, including the justice system. This meant someone inside could have facilitated the kidnapping. Adam picked up the phone and called a trusted contact, private investigator Jack Collins. Jack was a former cop with a vast network of informants and a reputation for being relentless in seeking the truth. Jack, I need your help, Adam began, quickly explaining the situation. Hayes is missing, and the threats are becoming personal. I need you to find anything that can lead us to him. Leave it to me, Adam, Jack replied. I'll start investigating immediately. But be careful, if they're willing to threaten your family, it means they're desperate. Adam knew Jack was right. The criminals were cornered, and that made them dangerous. He hung up the phone and turned to Jennifer. We need to coordinate with the police and the FBI. They need to know we're dealing with something much bigger than we expected. As Adam organized the next steps, he couldn't ignore the weight of the situation. The threats to his family weighed heavily on him, but he knew he couldn't back down. Justice depended on finding Hayes and dismantling the crime syndicate. Night fell, but for Adam and his team, the work was just beginning. The city of Los Angeles gleamed under the nightlights, oblivious to the drama unfolding behind the scenes. Adam knew that every minute counted, and the fight for justice was just beginning. As he looked out the window of his office, Adam felt a renewed sense of determination. He would face whatever came his way, protecting those he loved and ensuring the truth prevailed. The battle was far from over, and Adam was ready to face any challenge that came. The days followed in a whirlwind of frantic activities. Jack Collins was deep in the streets of Los Angeles, using his extensive network of contacts to uncover any leads on Michael Hayes' whereabouts. Meanwhile, Adam Pierce worked tirelessly, splitting his time between the case and ensuring his family's safety. Security around Sarah and Emily was tightened. Armed and discreet men were positioned at Adam's house, ready to respond to any sign of danger. Sarah, a strong and resilient woman, remained calm, though clearly concerned for her family's well-being. Emily, on the other hand, was oblivious to what was happening, still an innocent child. That day, while Adam was in the office, Jennifer entered with a grave expression. Adam, Jack just called. He found something. Adam quickly picked up the call. Jack, what did you find? I managed to trace some unusual fund transfers. Someone paid a considerable amount to a group of mercenaries known for dirty work, Jack explained, his voice steady. And it looks like they're connected to an influential figure, a guy named Victor Delgado. Delgado is known as a facilitator in the criminal underworld, especially when it comes to eliminating inconvenient witnesses. The name rang a bell for Adam. Delgado was a name he'd heard before, always whispered in shady circles, but never with enough evidence to incriminate him. Delgado is untouchable, Jack. If he's involved, this could be much bigger than we thought. Yes, and I'm sure he's just the tip of the iceberg. I'll keep digging, but be careful, Adam. These guys play dirty. Adam hung up the phone, his mind racing with the new information. Delgado had a reputation for always staying one step ahead of the authorities, with connections in all the right places. If he was behind Hayes' kidnapping, then the situation was far more complex than Adam had feared. As he pondered the next step, the phone rang again. It was an anonymous call, and the voice on the other end was distorted but clearly altered. Give it up, Pierce. You have no idea who you're dealing with. Hand over the files and stop the investigation, or you'll pay a high price. Adam felt a chill run down his spine. The threat was direct and intimidating, but he knew he couldn't give in. Who are you? He asked, trying to buy some time, but the line went dead. He turned to Jennifer, who was watching him with concern. They're increasing the pressure. We need solid evidence against Delgado, something that directly ties him to Hayes' disappearance. Jennifer nodded, already picking up her phone to organize an emergency meeting with the investigation team. Adam knew time was running out. The disappearance of Hayes wasn't just about finding a missing witness, it was a race against time to prevent a deadly blow against justice. As Adam and his team strategized, Jack continued his investigations in the shadows. He knew that to bring down Delgado and rescue Hayes, he would need to infiltrate the inner circles of organized crime. With each move, he felt the danger closing in, but he was determined to press on. That night, Adam received a text message from an unknown number. They know about Sarah and Emily. Be careful. Terror gripped Adam. He immediately called Sarah, ensuring she and Emily were safe. I'm sending more security your way. Don't leave the house for any reason, he ordered, trying to mask the anxiety in his voice. Adam, are you sure this is necessary? We can't live like this forever, Sarah replied, her concern evident. It's temporary, just until we sort this out. I promise everything will be okay, he responded, trying to reassure her. Hanging up the phone, Adam felt the weight of his responsibility. Not just as a prosecutor, but as a husband and father. He was determined to protect his family and bring justice, no matter how powerful his enemy was. As the city of Los Angeles slept, Adam knew that the battle for truth and justice was just beginning. And he was ready to face the challenge, no matter the cost. The clock was ticking, and Adam Pierce knew every second was crucial. The information about Victor Delgado and his connection to Michael Hayes' disappearance was becoming clearer, but the definitive proof to incriminate him was still missing. The tension was mounting, especially with threats against his family becoming more frequent and explicit. Jack Collins, always one step ahead, made a significant breakthrough. He managed to infiltrate one of his contacts into Delgado's inner circle, someone with direct access to the criminal's operations. This contact, a man named Carlos Mendez, was willing to provide information in exchange for protection and a deal with the prosecutor. Adam knew it was a rare opportunity that could not be wasted. On a rainy night, Adam met Carlos at a safe location, far from prying eyes. Carlos was a middle-aged man, with features hardened by a life in the criminal underworld. He seemed nervous but determined to speak. Victor Delgado is just one of many names he uses, Carlos began, his voice low. He is a key player in a corruption network that goes far beyond what you can imagine. He not only facilitates crimes but also has connections within the legal system, buying judges, lawyers, and even police officers. Adam listened intently, mentally noting every detail. And what about Michael Hayes? Do you know where he is? Carlos nodded. Hayes is being kept in a safe location, but Delgado doesn't plan to keep him alive for much longer. He wants to send a clear message to anyone who tries to cross his path. This information put Adam on high alert. We need to get Hayes out of there before it's too late. Can you take us to him? Carlos hesitated, looking around as if expecting to be watched. Yes, but it's risky. If Delgado suspects anything, he won't hesitate to eliminate anyone he considers a threat. Adam knew they were in dangerous territory, but there was no other option. He needed to save Hayes and use his testimony to bring down Delgado and his corruption network. Let's do it. Arrange a meeting with Hayes and make sure he's safe until we get there. Meanwhile, Jack and Adam's security team were preparing a rescue operation. With the help of local and federal law enforcement, they devised a strategy to rescue Hayes and simultaneously arrest Delgado and his associates. The operation had to be precise and swift, with no room for error. The following morning, the team headed to the location indicated by Carlos, an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. The tension was palpable, everyone aware of the risk they were taking. Despite recommendations to stay safe, Adam insisted on being present. He knew his presence was necessary to ensure Hayes' protection and coordinate the operation. Upon arriving at the warehouse, the team split up. Jack led the group entering the building while Adam stayed in constant contact with the communication team. The operation began quietly, each move calculated to avoid detection. Inside the warehouse, the scene was desolate. Graffitied walls, broken furniture, and an oppressive silence. They moved forward, following Carlos's instructions. Finally, they reached a locked room. Jack forced the door open, revealing Michael Hayes tied up and visibly weakened, but alive. Hayes, we're getting you out of here, Jack said, cutting the restraints. Michael looked at them, relieved but also terrified. They'll kill us if they find out I talked, he murmured, his voice trembling. We won't let that happen, Adam assured, entering the room. You're safe now. We need your testimony to take Delgado down. As the group prepared to leave, Adam received an urgent call from Jennifer. Adam, we have a problem. Delgado found out about the rescue and is on his way here with reinforcements. Time was against them. The team needed to leave quickly before Delgado arrived. With Hayes secure, they headed for the exit. However, as they were just a few meters from the exit, the headlights of several cars illuminated the warehouse. Delgado and his men had arrived. A shootout ensued, echoing through the empty building. Adam, Jack, and the security team took cover, protecting Hayes at all costs. The situation was tense, with bullets flying from both sides. Adam knew the situation was becoming increasingly dangerous. They needed reinforcements, and fast. Amid the chaos, Adam spotted Delgado, hiding behind a car, giving orders to his men. He knew this was the moment to act. If he could capture Delgado, he could end it all right there. Making a quick decision, Adam signaled to Jack and together they cautiously advanced towards Delgado. Using the available cover, they moved closer and closer. Adam knew he would only have one chance. With Delgado distracted, Adam stepped out of cover and pointed his gun. "Delgado, you are surrounded. Drop the weapon and surrender." Delgado turned, surprised, but didn't back down. He laughed, a cold and disdainful laugh. "You really think you can stop me, prosecutor? I am untouchable." Before he could react, Jack approached from behind and disarmed Delgado with a quick move. In moments, Delgado was on the ground, immobilized. The security team quickly handcuffed him, ensuring he wouldn't escape. As Delgado was taken away, Adam felt a wave of relief. They had succeeded. Michael Hayes was safe, and the main figure responsible for the corruption and crime network was finally in custody. But Adam knew the battle was far from over. The case still needed to go to trial, and they would have to face the best lawyers Delgado's money could buy. The fight for justice was just beginning, but Adam was more determined than ever to ensure the truth prevailed and all involved were held accountable. As dawn broke, Los Angeles began to wake to a new day, unaware of the drama that had unfolded overnight. For Adam and his team, however, it was just the beginning of a new phase in the battle against crime and corruption. The successful rescue of Michael Hayes and the arrest of Victor Delgado made headlines in all the Los Angeles newspapers. Adam Pierce, now in the spotlight, was focused on one thing: preparing the case to bring Delgado and his organization to justice. However, Adam knew that the real battle was yet to come in court. Michael Hayes was in a safe location, under constant protection. His information was crucial, not only to convict Delgado but also to expose the corruption network that extended across various sectors of the city's legal and police system. With Hayes willing to testify, Adam felt they had a real chance to take down an organization that had operated with impunity for years. In the days that followed, Adam and his team worked tirelessly, gathering evidence and preparing witnesses. They knew that Delgado, even imprisoned, still had many allies and that his influence could extend even within the judicial system. Adam's concern was to ensure that the trial was fair and free from interference. Meanwhile, Delgado wasn't idle. His lawyers, an expensive and experienced team, were ready to exploit any weakness in the prosecution's case. They claimed that Delgado was being unfairly persecuted and that the charges were based on the testimonies of discredited individuals. The defense also suggested that Michael Hayes had been coerced into testifying against Delgado. The atmosphere in the courtroom was tense. The media covered every moment, and the public was eager for justice. Adam knew he was dealing with a complex and delicate case. He prepared for his opening statement, aware that he needed to present a solid and irrefutable case. On the first day of the trial, the courtroom was packed. Adam presented the prosecution's case, highlighting the evidence linking Delgado to a vast network of criminal activities, including drug trafficking, bribery, and murder. Michael Hayes was called to testify, and his presence in the courtroom was a crucial moment. Hayes, visibly nervous, told everything. He described how Delgado controlled the money laundering and how he himself had been forced to participate in the scheme. He also recounted the threats he received and how he decided to cooperate with justice. During the testimony, the courtroom was in absolute silence, everyone attentive to the shocking details of the corruption that permeated the upper layers of organized crime. The defense tried to discredit Hayes, suggesting he was lying to save himself. But Adam was prepared. He presented documents, financial records, and even recordings that corroborated Hayes's testimony. The prosecution also called other witnesses, including former associates of Delgado, who confirmed Hayes's allegations. As the trial progressed, Delgado's defense began to weaken. Adam's team carefully dismantled each argument, and Delgado's image as a legitimate businessman disintegrated. Even with all the financial and legal resources available, Delgado couldn't escape the mountain of evidence accumulated against him. The turning point came when the prosecution presented evidence that Delgado had personally ordered the kidnapping and attempted murder of Michael Hayes. The evidence was irrefutable, and the courtroom was stunned by the audacity and brutality of Delgado's actions. Adam watched the jury, seeing the impact of the revelations. He knew they had done a good job, but until the final verdict, nothing was guaranteed. Finally, after weeks of testimony and deliberations, the jury returned with the verdict. Victor Delgado was found guilty on all charges. The courtroom erupted in murmurs as the judge sentenced Delgado to a prison term that practically ensured he would spend the rest of his life behind bars. For Adam, the result was a triumph of justice. But he knew that the battle against organized crime and corruption was a continuous struggle. As he left the courtroom, reporters swarmed around him, asking questions. Adam responded calmly, thanking the team and emphasizing the importance of continuing to fight for justice. Back at the office, Adam found an anonymous letter on his desk. He cautiously opened it, finding a simple message: "This isn't over." He knew that even with Delgado in prison, many of his associates were still free and could seek revenge. The safety of his family and the integrity of the justice system would continue to be his priorities. As he looked out over the Los Angeles skyline, Adam felt a mixture of relief and vigilance. He had won an important battle, but the war against corruption and crime was far from over. Determined to protect the innocent and seek the truth, Adam was more than ready to face future challenges. The city could sleep a little more peacefully that night, knowing justice had been served, but Adam knew that constant vigilance was necessary to maintain that peace. With one last look at the anonymous letter, he stored it away, determined to remain firm and vigilant. The fight for justice has never been easy, but Adam Pearce was prepared to continue, no matter what came next.